one tip to becoming more disciplined. Jocko Willink talks a lot about discipline. It's one of his core tenets other than being a good leader. And his main tip is wake up before the sun. And this is really important for three main reasons. But before I get into that, let me read you a quote by Jocko. Is take ownership. Take extreme ownership. Don't make excuses. Don't blame any other person or any other thing. Get control of your ego. Don't hide your delicate pride from the truth. Take ownership of everything in your world, the good and the bad. Take ownership of your mistakes. Take ownership of your shortfalls. Take ownership of your problems. And then take ownership of your solutions that will get those problems solved. Take ownership of your mission. Take ownership of your job, of your team, of your future. Take ownership of your life and lead. Such a great quote by Jocko, because it talks about where really the power lies. Because if once you take ownership, you put yourself on the effect or on the cause side of the equation. This is where the power is. This is where you can change things. Versus if you put yourself on the effect side of the equation or the results side, you are powerless because you're not in control of the results. You're waiting for something else or someone else. And that's not a good place to be. So one of his techniques for becoming more disciplined is waking up before the sun. And he says there's three main reasons behind this. One, staying in his bed is easy. So by getting up, which is hard, you are getting after it. You already won your first battle of the day. And with that win, you're setting the tone for the rest of the day. And this is really important because this gives you that extra little bit of motivation because you've already done something and it's only the first couple of minutes of the day. And that's really powerful for mindset. Number two is you'll have free time to yourself. I mean, think about it. Is anybody else waking up at 4:30 in the morning? Not many. And those who do are succeeding at much higher levels. He says you can do something that you care about. Work out, write a book, paint a landscape. Nobody will bother you because the rest of the world is still sleeping. Think about that. How much more time would you have if you woke up an hour or 2 hours before everybody else? What could you get done? What have you been putting off that you could put in that time slot? And number three, you will feel good and mentally strong. When someone comes around with a snack later in the day, he says, it will be easier to avoid the temptation and prevent the shame spiral. And what he's referring to is we go through patterns throughout our day. When somebody says, okay, I want to lose weight or I want to get healthy, and then somebody hands you, let's say, a jelly donut, and you can say, no, I'm good. Or you're maybe a little bit stressed, so then you kind of get a craving, and then you accept that donut. After you eat that donut, you're like, I was really trying to lose weight, and now I'm not. Now I feel ashamed. Well, that shame causes more stress, which then kind of loops you back around, and you go and try to de-stress yourself, which is going to result in usually something negative. This is called the shame loop. And there's lots of ways to kind of break that loop by removing the trigger which started the process. You could also build the confidence, which is kind of what he's talking about. And then you can remove the negative energies around that whole process. These are the principles of the subconscious mind: neurolinguistic programming, hypnosis, reframing, and things like that. I hope this one tip with an explanation really kind of hits you well today. What can you do today to kind of increase your discipline? Maybe it's wake up before the sun. Maybe it's one of the other techniques. If you'd like to learn some of them, reach out to me, or if you want to work with me, feel free to send me a message and explore that option. Otherwise, thank you all for joining, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.